Hello, it is social media. It's not social media Saturday. What day is it? It's Foundation Friday. August 16th, 2019. Steve Sipress here in my backyard. And in about half an hour or so, we're going to have about 40 or 50 of our dear friends and neighbors stopping by for a little get-together. Because why not pick one of the hottest days of the year to have a party? What were we thinking? It has been over 110 every day all week. It's probably about 110 in the shade right now where I am. And we have my beautiful wife Michelle has, of course, made the preparations. Don't even think that I could if it was up to me. People coming over, I would call out to Domino's and throw 10 pizzas on the counter and say, have fun. So there's going to be all kinds of people, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. But here's the story for today. So I was at an event, one of the over 1,000 events a year hosted by my dear clients Sean and Robert Jones of Network Together, the largest independently owned networking company in all of Arizona and soon to be in all of the country, if it isn't already. They're branching out into other states now. So we're really scaling this thing. By the way, if you want help scaling your business, that's really what I'm all about. I help you with strategy and I help implement systems that you need to take your business from where it is to where you couldn't even dream that it could be. But I not only dream it, I see where your business could be. Yes, you, whoever's watching, any business at all can be scaled and can make you a ton of money instead of likely the way you're doing it now, working for a living. Anyway, so I will be speaking at this event next Friday for Robert, and he said, you know, why don't you come along this Friday? He hosts this thing every Friday. And he has 16 different chapters of this. And he said, you know, that way you can do a little preview of what you're going to talk about. Well, and besides, one of my dear friends and fantastic, one of the greatest people on earth, Dr. Will Moreland, was speaking at today's event. So actually that's how it came about, because I was like, I'm going to come over anyway. Because I got to hang out and see Dr. Will any chance I get. Love the guy. Who doesn't? Anyway, I digress. So Dr. Will spoke and inspired everybody and floored everybody. And Robert was like, now you, Steve. I'm like, yeah, thanks a lot. As if I could possibly follow anything Dr. Will said. So I decided to not even attempt to say anything to follow what Dr. Will said. I am hosting one of my famous masterminds coming up in about a week. And it just so happened that Dr. Will has been at 2 of mine. And Robert has been to probably 3 or 4 of them. And I had 2 of my clients that kind of slunk into the room late after the meeting started. No, I had 1 client and 1 non-client, both of whom had been to one of my mastermind events. So I said, you know what? Robert said, go ahead, Steve, tell them a little bit about, you know, this event. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to say a word about it. I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants. I have no idea what these people are going to say. In fact, I invited them to say good, bad, indifferent, ugly, anything they wanted. Please just say a few words about your experience coming to my home for my mastermind day. And that's it. And Dr. Will said all kinds of stuff. And then person who had come to my house is not a client said all kinds of stuff. And then my client said all kinds of stuff. And then I was going to have Robert give a few words and speak his mind. And he was like, dude, the meeting's over. You're way over your time. I wanted you to take like 2 minutes. And the people I had say a few words went on for like 5 minutes each. And I felt really, I mean, Robert is a stickler for, he's a Marine. Okay, so he sticks to the time and the schedule and honors everybody's time. I mean, this event was from noon to 1. So some people are coming over at lunch and they got to go. Or whatever, they got to go do stuff. You say noon to 1, it's noon to 1. And so it went over by 10 or 15 minutes without me saying anything, with these people gushing on, which was really great and really nice and really touching. And a couple of them said, you know, I'm not going to say anything bad, but then they said something that could be taken as bad by the wrong people. So I pointed it out. Somebody said, yes, Steve will give you no nonsense advice. He'll get right to the point. And I was like, you know, you said you weren't going to say anything bad, but to some people, to the wrong people, that's bad. They don't like no-nonsense advice. They like it candy-coated. They want you to have tact and be nice and all that, and I could, of course. But why waste time with all that politically correct tact, BS nonsense? Let's get right to the point. So I said right there, if you're even thinking about asking me to get invited to one of my mastermind days, and that's you, you are triggered, slashed, unhinged, slashed, deranged, slashed, snowflake, slashed, whatever, by no BS, gruff, straight to the point, no nonsense advice. If your stuff sucks, I'm going to say your stuff sucks. Now let's fix it. If that is something you don't want, then don't come anywhere near me. You don't ever want to talk to me. So, but the point is, this is what's known as social proof. So there are many different ways to prove, in quotes, that your product or service does what you say it will. And that is by a demonstration. That's one form of proof. You can have photos, videos. You can, in this case, you can have a celebrity endorsement, somebody who's known and trusted, say it works. That helps to prove. Again, I put it in quotes because nothing ever really proves it, but the person watching your video, seeing the demonstration, think about infomercials you've seen. They all have a big hook. They all have a demonstration. You know, the crazy glue, the guy glues it onto the top of a hard hat and the helicopter picks him up 100 feet in the air and he says, see, the glue holds. That's a pretty powerful demonstration. I remember there was one where, I don't know, the thing was like it was some kind of protective something, and he put his arm in it and had a truck run over his arm. And that was a late great Billy Mays, I think. And he was like, see, this thing will shield your whatever. It shielded my arm from getting run over. I feel fine. So that's proof. That's one way, demonstration proof. But in this way, it's called social proof. It means what other people say about you. So those take the form of reviews, testimonials. In this case, just in person, off the cuff, and they all said the same thing. Well, Steve, I had no idea. You didn't tell me you were going to ask me. I'm not prepared. I have no idea what to say. And that's actually the best of all. That's the most authentic. You know, once in a while, somebody says, hey, I'll do a testimonial for you. I'm just like, great. And then they send me an email with like 16 paragraphs going, is this good? I don't even read them, of course, because of the point. Like I just said, I just send it back and go, whatever you say is fine. I don't want to edit it. I don't even want to see it in advance and tell you this is good, that's good. You say whatever you want to say. That's authentic. So there are the tips for today. Get reviews, testimonials, get other people to tell people and to say things about you, and then plaster those all over social media, all over your websites, all over your brochures, your postcards, your newsletters, your videos, your audios, your books, everything you do. Get that social proof. There's the saying that what other people say about you is at least 10,000 times more powerful than what you could say about yourself. These people said, you know, Steve, you've changed my life in ways you couldn't even imagine. A year ago, 15 months ago, before I became a client, I couldn't even have dreamed. I was doing my business as a side thing and my you know, sucking all the money out of my main business and losing money on it, but it's something we just love to do. And now you've turned that around. That what was my full-time business, I am now selling, getting rid of, dumping it. And what was my part-time business is now generating millions of dollars a year, only about a year later, and they are just getting started. So that's kind of taking the business much further. And he said, you know, that's much further than even I ever thought. He said, I'm doing things in my life with my family that we never thought we would ever do. One story, they showed up, husband and wife showed up at my last All-Star Entrepreneur Mastermind, both in brand new cars. And people are like, what's up with that? Well, one of the cars, they took it into the shop for a repair, and they ended up instead buying a new car. And then the other spouse, whichever one it was, said, hey, I want a new car too. And so they drove out of there with two brand new cars. Now, could they have done that when they first came to me and came to my mastermind event a little over a year before that, where they were struggling and making ends meet and had a completely losing money hobby that they thought was a business and a full-time thing that was, you know, barely scraping by, but it's what he thought he loved to do. Now he knows what he loves to do, and the business has grown like crazy, and he's taking all next week off to finish his book, which is, he's got an offer to publish it from McGraw-Hill, and he's launching, like I said, all around the country, and all kinds of stuff is happening. And that's, I'm supposed to say your results may vary, because of course they do. Not everybody takes my advice, and like I said, and takes my coaching the right way, and does the right things, and has that kind of results. But some people have better results. So if I would have just said, hey, you know what I do? I change people's lives, and I increase their income by 17 times in a year, and I have them doing things they never thought they could do, and taking 2-week vacations with their family, and getting their books published by major publishers, and bringing in millions of dollars from what used to be a hobby a year ago, and on and on and on. People just sit there like they do if you say that, and your websites, brochures, videos, ads, anything at all. Yeah, sure, who knows, yeah, sure, what? That's like the pizza box. I order a pizza, it gets delivered, I look at the top of the box, what does it say? You've tried the rest, now try the best. Do I believe that's the best? I mean, we've got a guy now in the White House that loves doing this stuff. Everything is the greatest, the most incredible, it's huge. I mean, if you watch The Apprentice show for 10 years or whatever he was on or more, every single guest company he